What's going on, guys? It's the One Round Right. Today we're here with the Metal Robot Spirits Tallgeese 2 figure review. And, wait. This is the Gundam Universe Tallgeese 2. That's not right. The stupid table's so damn shaky. And the lighting's not the best in here either. I can't keep going on like this. I can't do it. It's the new year. So we gotta be new. We gotta be different. And we gotta be better. I think I have an idea, guys. There we go. That's better. What's going on, guys? It's the One Round Right. Today we are here with the Metal Robot Spirits Tallgeese 2 figure review, properly this time with the right figure, and we have a brand new table that is not wobbly like my old one, and I have a brand new 5-headed lamp. Apparently they're called Medusa lamps. They should be called Hydra lamps, but they're called Medusa lamps for some reason. I have a new one over here next to the recording stand, and my old one is over here in the far side of the room to kind of help even out the lighting in the room so everything's a bit better, because I previously had a little lamp over there. So hopefully the lighting's better for you guys as well. And I have non-shaky table, and I got a new figure. So here we are. Let's get into this review. I'm excited. I've been sitting on this thing for a while. I'm just meaning to open it, but holidays and work and life and being an adult. So here we are. We have him on his stand already. I'm going to get him in this fancy pose later. First, I'll show off the box like I do. I love these boxes. I'm going to scoot my little extra table out just a bit. I love how they do these boxes. They're always so pretty and so nice. Of course, showing off the figure itself, what it's got with it, what it can do. Just some ideas of some poses you can do. Some of the articulation. Little hints at what we're going to see here. I'm going to go over this picture here in a second. And another stand. I like this. It's too simple. I like it because it's cool, but it's also it's not a very supported stance when you have it on there. It's just basically standing on there. I don't trust that without at least having an arm behind it. So I'm gonna move this over here, and let's look at Mr. Long Duck himself, Mr. Tallgeese 2. One thing I still don't have is a little Lazy Susan thing, but I'm gonna give you a quick turnaround of the figure just with my hands. The painting and detail on this thing is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. He's going to look beautiful next to his homies in the back there. Though I'm going to have to reshuffle my shelves again because I can only fit 4 of these things over there at a time. So something's going to have to change here. I just need a second shelf, really. But bring him a bit closer so we can see the more finer details like on his shield, which another commentator told me on the show version he didn't have anything on here, so this is probably just for this figure. I don't remember if the movie version had anything. I just don't remember, and I haven't rewatched that stuff in a while. But whatever extra details I want to throw on here, I am not complaining. I like. And speaking of extra details, I'm going to show off the stand real quick. Of course, it says Oz, I think it's Oz technically. Oz 00MS2 Tallgeese 2. Be more graceful about everything. Really cool. Of course, blue's my favorite color, so I love how this looks. I know he's more white than blue, honestly, but I love the stands. All the bases of all these figures have been super cool, so I like his a lot. Let's pop him off here. Of course, he has a little sneaky hole, which again, oh, it actually came off. Stand review real quick. Definitely solid. Definitely better than yours, Wing. I love this figure. I hate that stand. I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. Definitely more balanced. He does not wiggle that much on there. Of course, they're all fall hazards. That's just how these figures are. But definitely keeping in line with the non-absolutely terribly wobbly stand. And granted, he can stand pretty well on his own. As for the figure itself, he can... Ooh, that was not supposed to pop off. Luckily, these are kind of built pretty well idiot-proofed. So that's literally just a little ball thing, so it snaps right back in and does kind of move out of the way. But so you can see here, he can kick forward pretty well. He can't kick back really at all because of his little skirt piece back here. I'll go more into that when we get there because it only goes back so far. I don't think his legs even really bend that much that way. Really nice knee bend. The knee bends in all these figures are always really nice. And the ankle's really nice too. They even show off how nice the ankle is. He's got the swivel and the turn. Got the pretty solid upper thigh swivel. No lower calf or anything. these side skirts get out of the way pretty well. And obviously he's a bit more of a bulky figure since he's based off the Leo or made from a Leo. This little guy up here, his little thruster piece, does actually kind of move just a touch here and there. It wiggles around just a bit. Turning him around, his thrusters move up and down real nice. They turn on a kind of little ball joint here. And the shoulder, oh yeah, one of the big things about this figure is the shoulders. He can clutch in, bro. He, like, look at that. Look at that. It does look kind of goofy from the wrong angle, but it affords so much posability and movement. Oh, well, I just Buzz Lightyeared him real quick. Ms. Nesbit. Put that back on there. These can swivel forward a bit. It's also to help afford just the fact that he has things on his shoulders that kind of get in the way, but they move pretty well out of the way as well. Got the curl up, got the little, no like lower arm swivel, but of course the upper bicep swivel is there. It's a little stiff, but it is there. Nice elbows, of course. Head can look up pretty well, look down pretty well. Alright, the little goatee piece blocks it. I think if you try hard enough and safely, you can do a full 360 on the head. And actually, another gimmick I'm not going to show off because I just don't want to do it for my own sanity and risking of breaking something. His little face piece and the mohawk can pop off and reveal the little face underneath. Let me grab the instructions to show you, because I don't want to do it, because Lord knows I'd break it. It's something that just unnerves me. I don't want to do it. But you can do that and show like the little Leo face underneath. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But you can, which I do think is a little neat. Which I think is pretty neat. So he can do a pretty good, decent T-pose as well. Decent, but you know, he is a bulkier figure. As of course he's got his gun and his shield, which actually does hold his beam sabers here, and he can actually properly hold it if he wants to. Get the beam saber hilts. The beam sabers are over here. I'll show off here in a second. And this swivels pretty well. It all kind of on some ball joints and a little bit of hinges to afford movement to get out of the way at least a bit, because it will get a little annoying, but for this suit, it's the nature of the suit. And the gun, of course, it won't go up fully here because this piece is a solid, like, kind of V plastic piece. You see here, like, it's a V shape. This one, the gun itself comes with a different part, which is over here. I have it split in two right now. It can kind of be a little fidgety, or what's the word I want? Not fidgety, fiddly. But this is the actual piece that goes onto here. So if you want him to hold the gun and be able to actually use it like in a shooting pose or whatever, you swap this piece out for this piece, and then he can hold it in his hand. Obviously, he has the handle here, and this does pop out, kind of move around, so you can have this turned so he can hold it or what have you, and just to add a little more playability and malleability to it. Apparently, this magazine comes out. I could not get mine to come out. I was tugging on it. I felt like I was going to break it, and maybe I was misunderstanding the instructions. But, oh, sorry, I hit my other table. So theoretically, it can come out. At least in the instructions, it shows that it can pop out. I don't know if I'm just missing something and I'm not looking at the instructions properly to take it out. I'm not going to keep tugging on it because I'm not going to pop it out anyway. I don't care that much. But this does move. This is kind of to help give it some balance when you have it in the the standing pose where he has it. Has the gun this way and has his hands resting on top of it. But I think it's pretty cool. These are the base fists that come off in the box. Of course, it's the basic fist hands, and you already saw these ones move. But before I move into like the more accessories and the other things, I'm going to show off that his skirt pieces, all of them have some little gimmick here where they kind of pop open here. So you can kind of see in there. That's kind of neat. Both sides do that. I'll push that shut. Move these up out of the way for a second. These pop open here and reveal the thrusters on the inside so you can play with them. This whole piece is one section, so you can't like move them individually, so just keep that in mind. But you can manipulate these little guys a little bit. Close that. Oh, I forgot to show. He has a decent crunch up and down, a little bit of a wiggle. You can't really turn him all the way around. Again, it's just the nature of these suits. This particular one, he's big and bulky, kind of more of a tank-esque thing compared to like the skinnier, smaller, quicker guys like Wing and Epion. So he can't really spin all around, and he doesn't have a transforming gimmick. It's really only Wing and Epion that have the transforming gimmick. His gimmick is more so the big guns and what have you, where like Ultron has the arms, Epion has the transformation gimmick, Wing has a transformation gimmick, and then Death Scythe Hell has his warm winter coat that he has. But my favorite thing about this, you can kind of see it already. You move this piece up here, along with this, and they extend out the thrusters on his backpack ones. They both do that, which I think looks absolutely badass. And even though they're kind of in there, you can manipulate the little thrusters on the inside, even if a little bit. I just love the detail they put in these figures, like how Wing has his mounted Gatling gun things on his shoulder. I think they're Vulcan guns or whatever they're actually called. But I love how they stick so many little details in spots you may not realize if you're not paying attention. I'll close these up. And of course, like I said, they move around pretty well. They like the actual metal part itself just goes up and down, but this is kind of on a ball joint, so you can get that movement and it can go, where you need to. I'm gonna just have them in the back for now. So overall, the base figure itself, I love it. It looks good. It works well. Let's show off what he comes with. Obviously, what comes off of him in the box is this needs to be attached, which is as easy as just snapping the little piece in place. And of course, the gun itself does not come onto him. But a little neat thing about the gun is, can I get it to go? Yeah, you can push the barrel in to have it a bit smaller if you want to, but it does actually extend out, which is kind of neat. I'm going to set him back on his stand for a second so I can free up my hands. Come on. There you go. Sit there. Pull his excess stuff out over here. So we get 2 beam sabers, which go for the 2 hilts that he has right there. They're that translucent pink plastic. Looks really good. It looks really nice, honestly. I love how they work. Look how they look. We have, already showed off that part. Here are his hands. Typical hands. We have the trigger finger hand. He only gets one of these because his gun is on his right arm, so he only needs the one. He has the beam saber holding hands. He's got one left and right. And then he has I believe these are his gun resting hands. He's got one for left and right as well for when he has his hands resting on his gun in that pose I showed on the box. And then the open splayed hands just for, a dramatic, if he's catching or just action pose, open splayed hands, as you do and as you get in a lot of figures like this. Then the special piece that I love, I didn't really realize until I really looked at it, is this piece here. What is this, you might ask? Let's go back to the picture on the back of the box. Right there is to replicate Ultron stabbing him or slicing him through the torso, because this part will actually slot on. I haven't tried it, but it slots on to the side of him, kind of like so. This is just a rough showing of it, because this part attaches to the trident of Mr. Ultron back here. You can swap out the top beam part of it for this and replicate this scene right here where he kind of gets sliced in the middle, which I didn't realize this came with. I guess I just didn't pick up on that. I didn't see it in the promo pictures, or maybe they didn't show it. I just honestly didn't see it. But I think that's a real fun and interesting little inclusion. And also it adds more playability, posability to your previous figures, which I always like. I don't like them doing too much like what they did with the Gammas in the Dragon Ball Super line, SH Figure Arts rather, where they gave the Gammas like both of them had two different sets of Gohan pieces for the Gohan they released, and then they kind of did the same thing with Orange Piccolo, rather, having a Kamehameha piece for Beast Gohan. I think they went a little too far with that, but things like this, where it's like kind of lore accurate, if you will, kind of like what they did with Epion and Wing, where Epion had the like clashing hands piece for Wing and Epion, so they could recreate that from the opening, if I remember correctly. I think that's pretty cool. Push that back here. Also, I love this new table. We got so much space. It's so much wider than my previous table, and less wiggly. Now, let's get into the comparisons for these figures. So if I remember, these are about 5.5 inches tall. That's like the default size for these. So they are a little bit on the smaller side, but they do pose pretty well with your average other figures. First one I'm going to compare to is the previous video I did, the Tallgeese 2 from the Gundam Universe line. And you can see right off the bat, if I can scoot this out of the way and get them both in frame, the level of detail is incredibly improved upon, where like this is just a molded plastic piece and is basically plain white and plain blue with his gun just kind of there, and of course you got the beam sabers and the basically nothing of a back piece. Still a great figure, don't get me wrong. For the you pay $25 for this, is a solid figure, but this is the one you versus the guy your girlfriend told you not to worry about. But you can see the clear differences between a over $100 figure with metal pieces and of course the one you get at Walmart. I still love this figure, still looks great, but you can see the difference in here. And hell, even the head shape is kind of different. Like his head's a bit smaller, but these are like more in like the 6-inch scale anyway, so they scale bigger regardless. So but that you can tell the difference. For $25 to, I forget, this is like probably 160-ish, 170-ish, 180-ish, I forget. But there's that comparison. And since I was speaking about the SA's Figure Arts Dragon Ball line, because this always seems to be the one I have on hand, here is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Scales pretty well in there. They're more or less the same size. I know he is kind of floating up in the air, but I think with his mohawk, he actually beats out Vegeta's height by just a touch, even with Vegeta's big crazy hair. Then for another one, we have the Lightning Collection Lunar Wolf Ranger. Again, a RIP Lightning Collection. I hope it does come back, because I want the rest of the Wild Force Rangers. I really, really do. I think Lunar Wolf actually beats him by just a bit. Not even including his ears. It's just a bit taller. So just so you have an idea of scale with your other generic similar size figures. And then for sake of, I'll push him back a bit so you can see how he looks with his other wave mates. If you're not wave mates, but series mates, he looks pretty well next to them all. I'm probably gonna have to have him sitting kind of up front next to for the time being, because even if I like condense their poses with the stands, I can only fit probably about 4 up there, like exactly 4. I know I could get rid of the stand, just kind of have them stand on their own, but I don't trust that. I don't want them to fall and break or whatever. And I do have some action bases now, but I feel like these are too heavy for those. I'd rather them be on their dedicated bases. So I'm just going to have to fiddle it around. Maybe I'll rotate who's in the back and who's in the front as I go. I'll just leave him out front for now and work on it. I do need another bookshelf, like right here off screen, like directly next to this shelf. I need another one. That's been on the list of things I've been meaning to get. Or those fancy glass cases if I can find them for a good price. It's just doing that while also being an adult. That's how it is. But I am very satisfied with this figure. He looks really good. He's going to look great next to his homies in the back there. I can't wait to get them all posed up and proper, because I love the pose on the box. And if you've watched any of my previous reviews, especially for the Metal Robot Spirits line, you know that I like replicating the design, the pose on the box, because usually it's a nice dynamic pose and it's just really cool. So that's what I'm going to try to do with him. Shouldn't be too hard to do. I've done it before. I'll do it again. But if you haven't picked him up already, I think he was an exclusive on P Bandai, so he might be probably like $200 plus on the secondary market to get. I looked up Death Scythe the other day, and he's sitting at like a clean 200 otherwise on like eBay and what have you. But if you can get your hands on him or already have him, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you have it, if how you feel about it, and if you don't have it, would you like it? I recommend it definitely. I love the Metal Robot Spirits line, especially that they're improving their stands and they're not the shitty wing stand. They hold themselves up upright. You can pose them really well. There's just so much fun playability with them, especially since now I have 5 of the wingsuits. Which what are we really missing? Heavy arms. Need heavy arms custom. That's what it is. Oh my god, I can't wait for heavy arms custom. I'm gonna love that one a lot too. As soon as they announce that, my poor wallet. But they all look great together. I can't wait to pose them all together. And there's just that playability, since they're all from the same series. You can kind of interact, and if you can recreate your own favorite poses from the series as well, which I always think is fun to do. I just don't have the space to really do that, or to have Wing and Epion clashing more, or what have you. But if you like what you see, leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and figure reviews. And I've been the one, Ron Ryko. And we'll see you guys next time.